heavens, salutes the heavens. That's for Jason.
This year's Geelong Cup will celebrate the pivotal role the race played in one of Australia's greatest sporting moments, Media Puzzle and Damien Oliver winning the 2002 Melbourne Cup. The horse may have been Irish, but the jockey, Damien Oliver, was one of us. Damien had lost his brother, Jason, just a few days prior. When he crossed the line and waved to the sky, we all felt it. A surge of emotion rippled from Flemington to living rooms and pubs across Australia and the world. Damien had done it, and he'd done it for his brother. Media Puzzle's record-breaking win at Geelong paved the way for that historic moment. No win at the Geelong Cup would have meant no ride for Damien in the Melbourne Cup.
Media Puzzle wins by 3 lengths. Second place.
Irish trainer Dermot Weld took a big gamble, and it paid off twice.
Damien, great to be talking to you. It's 20 years since Media Puzzle did the Geelong Melbourne Cup double. Do you scarcely believe where 20 years has gone?
Yeah, it's hard to believe, but I suppose it's as we're all getting older, it does creep out to that time frame. But yeah, it is a bit hard to believe. Yeah.
Take us back to that Wednesday afternoon in October 2002. Your brother Jason had ridden here a little bit and gave you some advice about the track. What do you remember about those conversations with Jason leading into the race?
Yeah, well, he was based down this way a little bit as well, and you know, he was a big inspiration throughout my career, and you know, I followed him into racing. But probably by that time, I had probably cemented myself as a as a more capable rider. But in the early years, he certainly helped me a lot with my career. But my main memories of leading up to that Geelong Cup were that I was actually trying to get on the stablemate for that Melbourne Cup, a horse called Vinnie Rowe, and I knew one of the owners in that horse, and he was the more fancied of the two coming out for the Cup. And Media Puzzle wasn't even qualified for the Melbourne Cup. He had to win the Geelong Cup to get into the Melbourne Cup. But Dermot Weld had said, I've brought this other horse, I'd like you to ride him and see what you think and maybe try and get him to the Melbourne Cup. And I galloped him in the lead up to the Geelong Cup, and he galloped fantastic and gave me a great feel. And he was a promising young horse, but injury plagued, and he came out to Australia and Melbourne that year and just really thrived, and he won that Geelong Cup, and as soon as he did, I thought, well, this horse has got a serious chance in the Melbourne Cup. So I was really excited by his chances, looking forward to the Melbourne Cup.
I think it was about the 400 metre mark you took off and put the field behind you in the Geelong Cup. What do you remember of that closing stages, and was the Melbourne Cup going through your mind as you closed out the Geelong Cup going, we're there and now we're a big chance?
Well, it probably wasn't until after the race. I remember that race was a really strong pace in the race, and he took over, as you said, in the straight and won comprehensively. And he had to get a weight penalty to get into the Melbourne Cup, which he did, and brought him into my weight bracket where I could ride him. It was still quite light, I think around 52 kilos, which is probably 1 or 2 kilos lighter than I was normally riding around that time. And but he was so impressive that I felt he had a great chance in the Melbourne Cup.
Over your right shoulder is a wonderful painting where you reach to the heavens or look to the heavens at Jason after the Melbourne Cup. But it's a wonderful painting. If you got to title it, what would you title the painting?
There's a few words that spring to mind, probably emotion and relief, and probably also not long after the line, I crossed the line, I obviously went to the heavens and yelled out, "My boy," which is a greeting that we used to have to one another. So it probably could be any one of those.
How much of Jason was with you that first Tuesday in November in 2002?
Oh, definitely a lot. Like I rode Derby Day, and I had 7 or 8 rides, and I think maybe one of them come a place. So, and then I had about 5 or 6 rides leading up to the Cup, and still wasn't being very successful. I was questioning whether I'd made the right call to ride. So the pressure obviously was building, and when I rode in that Cup, I've never ridden in a race that's gone so well for me, and whether it was divine intervention, I don't know, but certainly I've never ridden in a race that's gone so smoothly for me, and the horse was going to win so far from home. So yeah, as I said, it was a huge relief, but a great tribute to my brother, who was such a huge influence on my career, and I was just so relieved and happy that I could win that race in his memory and tribute to him.
there was a moment in the jockeys' room after the Melbourne Cup that year where it was just the jockeys that rode in that race, and they got around you. And I know Glenn Boss and jockeys like that were massive in that moment. What do you remember of that time post the Melbourne Cup 2002 with just the hoops?
Yeah, look, it was probably one of relief and emotion, and to be honest, it was all a bit of a blur because it was so much going on. But the one thing I do remember is all the boys just getting around us and giving me all their love and support. Yeah. You've
signed on as a Geelong Cup ambassador for 2022 and 20th anniversary. It's nice symmetry, isn't it?
Well, it is. Obviously some fond memories, and as we touched on before, it's hard to believe it's 20 years ago, and the Geelong Cup has become synonymous with the Melbourne Cup. So many horses have come from the Geelong Cup to go on and win the Melbourne Cup and run well. It's a great form guide or lead up to the Melbourne Cup, and Geelong being one of our biggest cities is it's a perfect timing leading up to the Melbourne Cup. It's just about 2.5 weeks before. So and the fact that it's on a nice big track over 1.5 miles, everything lends itself to being a great lead up to the Melbourne Cup.
Outside of 2002, what are some of your favourite memories of riding here at Geelong?
Probably winning on Bauer as well in the Geelong Cup. He was an impressive winner of the Geelong Cup as well. And I couldn't ride him in that Melbourne Cup. He just narrowly got beaten by, I think, Viewed that year. Had a little bit lightweight for me, but every time I come to Geelong, I usually have a little bit of luck. It's a nice track to ride on, and the fact that I spend a bit of time down this way, I've got a place in Torquay and Jan Juc, and like to come down for a surf as well. So it's a good place for me that I'm able to get away from racing and relax and enjoy, and I've got a lot of friends down this way as well.
What is it about this part of the world that drew Damien Oliver in?
I think the surf down at Torquay Way. I'm a keen surfer, and just the lifestyle. It's a great lifestyle, and I've got some friends and a lot of friends down here, and the fact that I can get away from racing, it's a nice escape for me to be able to just escape from racing and refresh and enjoy myself as well.
Damien, thanks for talking to us. Well done.
You're welcome.